Hello and welcome back to One Mommy Scrapping. I am Scrapping Amy, where I'm planning for happy memories. Today we are going to get started on the next page in my Journal Your Christmas album. So let's get to it. Alright, so today I'm going to do what I want to call the next page in this album. Unfortunately, I was having some computer issues and ended up having to get a new external drive, which means I think I have lost 3 of the inner pages in here, the videos for that. So if I'm unable to recover those, I will be doing the same kind of pages in some other memory books that I'm going to be putting together. But I want to show you very quickly the 3 pages. This was the last one I was able to post as of this time. I went ahead and also added in the little tag that was in the gift. I like having the different ribbons and stuff kind of hanging out. My 9th entry was my Merry Mentor. I actually did a half page, literally a half page. So I put it in, cut it, made a pocket, and then I joined 2 of the smaller frames and made a little spot to record this long story in there. The next page was about, for the 10th, was about keeping in touch, and I had not used these yet, and so I was really nervous. With the first time I used them was live. Well, not live, but you know, on video, and I was really sad I lost that. But what I have done on the inside of this is put different ways that we've been keeping in touch. And here I've got a little note to use the FaceTime shots, because we always use FaceTime for the Christmas Eve story. So that I can just tie up later. I have relaxing weekends and just a tag behind the photo. And then I used this set. Let's see, it's called Book of Special Memories, Keepsake Inserter Creator die set. This one was Sweet Dreams Half Cut My Memory Book die set. But I wanted a different shape than just the ticket, so I made this and then folded it, because one of my favorite things about Christmas is all the wrapping paper. So I have little squares of wrapping paper in here from different gifts that we received, and we've got just a little magnet closure. This magnet happens to be on the outside. In person, it's not too noticeable, but right there it is, because the light's shining right at it. So what we're going to be doing today is this page. And again, I don't know if this has any particular name to it, but I'm going to, make up words as I call them. I call it an accordion page. And when you see it, you'll see why. I'm going to be using, of course, dies from this set, which is the base creator. I'm also going to be using dies from this. This is things to add decorative onto here. Could you make a memory book with just the set? I think you could, but it's going to be harder than this one, because this set does not have any of those open sides. It only cuts the frame around. Okay, but I did want to show you some of that. And then, of course, I'm going to be using some of the little tabs. I don't know, the paper clip, those confuse me, and I've got them in a couple sets, but I'm trying to figure out what I would use a paper clip for. You can't clip things. Anyways, so my base is going to be this page facing in this direction. I did that with the largest of the dies. Then I came over and used this die here from the add-on set to cut the red glitter. And then this, well, the red glitter and this green gingham. And then this cuts out that pretty decorative thing. And then that leaves it like this. And this ends up being one huge piece. So what I did is I took the next size down, cut it out, just so I have more of the glitter paper. So I can use this to make clips. I could use it as a page. I've got options. So that's just me being, cheap with the paper, I guess, because it's glittery. All right, and so it'll just layer like that. You don't see what's on the other side. It's all good. Finally, I have cut out, this is the 3rd size. It's either 3 size from biggest to smallest, or 3 sizes from smallest to biggest. It's right smack dab in the middle. And I've cut 4 of those. I have left on a longer part of this open edge, because that's what I'm going to need to join them, and then I'll want to cover that off. And then I cut out 7 from here. These are the ones that will go right inside that. I have already inked all of these, and there's a reason why it's 7 and not 8, and I'll show you that in a minute too. So to get started, I'm going to set this stuff aside to begin with. Pull out those dies. I don't need them anymore. And let's go ahead. We're going to use this one. And stick down the glitter. There are probably easier ways to do this score tape stuff, but I'm like, yeah, this works for me. At this point in the book, it has been a while since I've done a Journal Your Christmas video, and this kind of happens every year. It doesn't matter if it's a memory book or a 6x8 book like I've done. I get to a point where I'm like, I don't have that much room left, and I've got to actually do a little bit of thinking ahead for how I'm going to fit in everything I want to fit in. Shamil's Journal Your Christmas class runs until... Oh, I never got out. I lost my pokey tool, like my nice one that I don't lose the lid for. I don't know where I went up. Wait, did it end up back there? No. Okay. Anyways, Shamil's class runs all the way up to the 6th of January, which is the Feast of the Epiphany or Three Kings Day, depending on where you are located. Whoop. Let me just make a whole bunch of extra noise, right? I'm sure you guys have missed that. So I have never gone all the way up through January 6th, mostly because in the past I've really... I mean, this is the first year I've actually done this album and been in the Christmas spirit. So there is that. But also because I run out of space. I'm just like, I got nowhere else to put anything. Which, if I kept along the way I was going with some of these other pages, I'm going to be honest, it was like, I would probably make it up to the 18th. And that'd be it. Alright, I've already gone ahead and put adhesive on this. I did some of the 1/8 of an inch score tape along the outside edges, and then I put the red line tape in the middle because when I put it down I was thinking it was going to go right on this. I hadn't cut out the middle yet, and I'm like, oh well, I could have just used regular score tape. And the only reason it's anything to be picky about is that this has to stick onto the glitter, and I didn't want to use, I have some 1/8 inch red line, but I'm like, I've had issues trying to find the 1/8 of an inch red line. So I was like, just save it. And so I was going to use the big red line and then just this to kind of get the big red line was supposed to stick onto the glitter and actually keep it adhered. And then this thinner score tape was just to keep it from like peeling up at the edges. Like I wasn't expecting the thin score tape to do the actual job of holding the green paper to the glitter paper. And then I went ahead and changed my mind in the middle of it. So, you know, there is that. This is the same both ways, so it doesn't matter which way you do it. It's going to be identical. It's just a matter now of matching the edges. There we go. Alrighty. I'm going to leave the lid off of that for now. Okay. The next step is the inside. So this, when I say accordion page, I'm basically going to have a page like this. And then it's going to have a fold out that comes out and over. And then this one's going to come out and over and fold that way. Kind of like the fans you used to make when you were in elementary school. That's what I used to do with my notebook paper. And my parents won't care. Apparently they do. Isn't that shocking? And then I can never quite remember how far over I want things to go. I think this one gets cut. That's what happens. This one gets, one of them, the one that's going to go actually on your base, so like right here, is going to get cut. And I'm now realizing too. Okay, so what I have realized is that if I have this glued down to the bottom, which was my original plan, you lose a lot of that decorative piece. In reality, what I want down there is to be this red and white one. So the page will come out from underneath it. I'll have to trim down a little bit here. That's okay. But I can't have it sitting just on the cardstock because it's not very thick. So what I'm doing is I'm going to glue these together. You're not going to see the black at the bottom, but it's going to give it a little bit of that strength. So when you've got people turning the flaps, the accordion part, it's not going to rip the paper and potentially come out. So let's go ahead though and go back to this part. We're going to score right along. So I'm scoring right along where the pressure has made a little bit of a line right here. It's not cut, but that will give me a good scoring place. And then do this. So before I put on any of the decorative components, I want to go ahead and put these on. So that is what I want. Okay, now let's do, I'm going to start, I'm like all wishy-washy again. Like, and I know how to do this. Just trying to visualize it in my head as well as explain it at the same time. All right, here we are. So this is going to go underneath. So I'm going to want to do 2 strips along here. Now normally I would go to the very edge, but I'm not going to because I have to cut in on that so it doesn't show on the corners here. I have a feeling just like that I'll have enough space to do it. Alright, press both of those down. Okay, so I need to make sure that where the crease is, I leave a little bit of space past that so it has time, has a spot to actually turn. So I'm just going to cut in probably about a 1/4 inch, not too far. There we go. So just those little bits. Test again, and oh yeah, that's definitely where it needs to be. Alright, so let's glue it here, I guess, not glue. Of course, this red stuff is like stuck to me. Oh, come on! It's like, no, don't put me in the trash can. This is just lining it up. Maybe it'll be easier if I do it this way. Okay, there we go. So what I've got is this will go here, this will go here, this one will go under that. Let's just press both of these down to make sure they are firmly stuck. And when they are stuck down really well, it changes from a lighter red to a darker red. And the red leaves completely when you pulled it off. So the first time I was given red line tape was, this is old. There was a scrapbooking kit way back that was just embellishments. And you could do a subscription or you could order it at your local scrapbook stores called Magic Scraps. Does anybody remember that? I still have some of their, I don't think I have any more of this red line tape, but I've got a sheet of it that I've cut apart over the years a little bit. Anyways, I always thought that the tape itself was red, hence the name. No one told me it was the backing that's red, and therefore I don't have to worry about it showing in my projects because it's as clear as, you know, normal adhesive. I was like, oh, well, that would have been really helpful to know a long time ago. So I've had those projects that just do not want to stick. That would have been perfect for this kind of tape. And then it never got used. All right, so one more spot to use the red line tape is going to be on the very back of the panel that will sit on directly on the cardstock. Excuse me, I'm cutting a little bit of these edges. It's like where it's creased, it's going to end up looking funny. Trying not to cut myself with my scissors because I've already done that once this week. Not my Tonic scissors because those I tend to like stick back where they belong. But my other really sharp little scissors, my cutter bees, snipped my finger right there about a week ago. I was like, really? I have that incredible talent. I see some people who are so graceful with their red light tape. I'm like, how do you do that? What kind of magic is that? Because I clearly do not have gracefulness with anything. The only grace I've got in my house is my daughter. That's her middle name. Okay. Now we're about to see things start taking shape. So for this particular type of page, you are likely going to want some type of tab for people to grab onto. That's what I'm using that one for, like I have with other places. It's an indication of this is where you need to pull, so don't mess up and pull somewhere else, basically. And this is also a great kind of page to involve magnets with. There we go. So here we go. This is why I call it an accordion page. So when you pull it out, you're going to have three panels. I swear I can talk. You have three panels here, and there's where I wrote my notes going, use it for this, it's not extra. And then you've got your 4 panels here. So that's why you cut 7 of these. You can do 7 different colors. What I like to do, or patterns, not necessarily colors, what I particularly like to do is, so I pick one that's going to be the back, and then these, it's going to be this side and this side. So that way I don't have repeats. I've seen people do it a variety of ways, but that's the way I like the best. And before I put on any of the panels, I need to plan out my magnets. What I tend to do is anywhere that it would open like this is I'll put magnets there. This one I'll put in the middle, and then I'll have the little tab covering it up. The rest of them, I put them a little further in, but don't put exactly in the middle. There was, like this one, here's the exact side where you wouldn't want to do it. This side, it wouldn't matter. But if I put it in the middle here, and then put it in the middle here, those magnets are stacking up on each other, which usually isn't too much of a problem, but it's going to add thickness when you go to shut it, if that makes sense. I'm probably going to take my X-Acto knife and attempt to trim off that little bit of glitter that's hanging out. So I am the person that is like losing everything. So I cannot find my fabulous Tonic magnets. I'm using some cheap ones from Amazon. Those will go there. And so I always like to pull them out when I use these in 2s. And then I put them back in the little box. And then I put this box in a very safe place. Forget where that safe place is, because it's right now hanging out with my Tonic magnets. And then have to go buy more magnets to continue the project. I would suggest don't do it like that. I'm like, dang, is anybody else out there where you clean up your desk and suddenly you can't find a dang thing? Or is that just me? Just me? Is that it? That's fine. Understand. Be honest. Ooh. Now, I've got these stacked on each other. I'm only putting, ooh, there we go, one side with the red line tape right now. And I will show you how that will work if I can get it off of my finger. All right, that little bit will work in a moment. So put that in there. Peel off. And I want to put it inside far enough, because I've done that too, where I'll put it on the edge and then I'm like, well, wait, there's no paper covering that. Duh. And you know, I said I was going to put it in the middle. I'm not. I'm going to put it a little bit above or below the middle. That way there we go. That way when the handle is there, or tab, whatever you want to call this. Oh, I have it inside out. Not that it matters. That way when it's there, when you put that, it's not going to be yet another layer of paper over the magnet. So, now that that one is down, I'm going to cut another little bit of red line, put it on. If you missed the earlier one page in this where I was explaining these, this is what I saw Jody do at Creativation last year. I was like, oh my gosh, this is genius. Like, how do you get the magnets to line up underneath? And then just close it. And when you open it, they're already there. So now this will stay closed. So you could technically stop here. I want to also put magnets on this. And then again, probably underneath down here. And once again, like, why can't I get this off? Because you're not using your tools, crazy lady. Alrighty then. So, oh, that's over here. I don't have to worry about it. So that can just go right here. Now you don't have to have the two of them stacked up right now. Some people just like to do one, which can work. I'm always afraid I'm going to lose the magnet. And then if I've got them pulled out in pairs, I know I've already got what I need. Does that make sense? I hope so. Can you like stay on the magnet, please? There we go. Close. Press, and ta-da! And then one more. Oh, that would be my last little bit of red line I don't want to lose. This is the one where I want to make sure it is not directly under where the other magnet is. These are only 1 millimeter thick, which if you get the Tonic ones, they're thinner than that. So those are the ones to use. If you can get them, I will try to link them down below. Seriously, but I mean, essentially, if I put them here and over here where it was, it ended up being 4 millimeters thick. Plus the paper, plus the base pages of cardstock, plus whatever decorations you put on there. So those little bits add up quickly. All right, and now it's shut. I can move it. It's not going to come open. Now we get to do the fun little bit. I'm actually going to use my ATG today. Okay, here we are. All right. So I'm going to do, yep, that's how I want it. Think of this. And then, this is where I want to check, go, what did I have? Do I want to carry any of this over here? And I don't have to worry because none of these patterns are over there. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do that one. I've already got this one displayed prominently. Well, not yet, but I will on the cover. Let's do one of them just to be safe. Ooh, and this magnet is like right at the edge. All right. Now some of this, if I notice that things are starting to like peel up at the corners, I can just take a bit of my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, the liquid glue, and stick it under the corner that is having problems. So now we're going to start here. I've got these little red dots from that tape that just was like, I'm hanging around. There we go. So now both of these have the same, and then I'm going to fold it this way. Next goes the plaid. And finally, the Christmas lights. Now, can you stop here? Absolutely, 100%. You've got a book. But when somebody's looking at this, they don't know where to pull it. And that's the reason I like the tabs. Because if I put a tab out here, you've got an idea of what to do. So I've cut one in black and one in gold. And I haven't yet done this, but there's a reason why I like to cut two. So this is going to be what helps keep this sturdier. Other places that I've used it, it's where it's just flipping. And so you're not actually like tugging on it. Whereas I found that ones like this, people want to pull it and it's more likely to fold and get bent and everything. And then eventually come off. So I have cut this in the silver. This is not silver. I know my colors. I've cut this with the gold foil card from Tonic Studios. It's what I did the gold here with. And I want to make sure I am including that in various places in the album. So this is where I want to pull out my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. What I like about this mirror card, one, it's beautifully shiny, but you can actually see the quilting design that goes into, that gets imprinted in. And if you're really smart, you don't shift things around and then cause it all to come up. All right, so now a little bit on this side. You want it to be, well, you could have it anywhere, but I want it to be in the center-ish. I want to make sure, though, is that I'm not, that's really not the center there. I don't feel the, oh, there it is. Yeah, it's a good thing I moved it because it's like right where I had it. All right. So I only put glue on that tip because I knew I wouldn't need it up here. Now I'm going to put glue all over it, fold it over, and then it'll match up with the other side at the top. So I can now embellish this. I can put a piece of twine. I could put a ribbon. I actually don't know what I'm going to put in there. What I am going to do, though, is place it into my Christmas journal. Ooh. Maybe I can get my fingers unstuck. So for this, I just need to put it along the side that's going to go with the spine. There we go. And then insert it. Oh wait, I don't just want it on the side of the spine. I'm going to do something that I had wanted to do earlier and didn't. Well, that's interesting. I put it on the wrong side of the paper. Oh well. It's only on the wrong side if you're picky about the little holes, which I really don't think anyone else is going to notice. So what I'm going to do is potentially help future scrapping Amy. I'm going to put a little adhesive there, and I'm only going to put adhesive up to here. I'm not going to put any along that third, I guess that's the fourth side of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Along that last side. How about that? Let's press it down. Good adhesion. And I will show you why as soon as I get this placed. Oh my gosh, the number of long red strips that have not made it in the trash can and are instead stuck to my shelf and wall and the outside of the trash can is like mind-boggling. It's like one of those ridiculous things. You're like, seriously? Alright, so line it up with the spine. Oh, that's not working. There we go. That's good. Alright, so what I can, well, first, here's this page. So it now opens. And that will also, if somebody was trying to pull it this way, what's interesting is sometimes you've got people that will pull it only one way or the other and doesn't realize there's anything on the other side. So what I have done just now, obviously not with a card this big or a tag this big, I can knock things over. But I have this little spot now that I can put some things to pull out. So if I end up discovering I'm at the end and I still have stories I want to tell but no room here, I have a spot that I can hide them. And if I end up not using it, I can simply come along, put a line of the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I'm good. What I am going to do is kind of trim that a little bit so it's not quite so glaringly obvious that they didn't quite line up. Which it's black on black. You're not going to notice it, but you will notice. There you go. Is much better. I was like, you'll notice when they don't line up. So there is the next page. This is ready to be embellished, which I will probably do after I get everything else figured out what kind of pockets I want. My plan right now is this will hold days 13, 14, and 15. So I'll do some over here and some over here. I could actually do like 13, 14, 15. And then also have 13, 14, 15 so it matches up the sides of paper. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how many pages or how many pictures I have for those. So thank you so much for watching. If you are not subscribed, I'd love if you would hit that subscribe button and hit the like, ring the bell if you want to be notified whenever I upload new videos or go live, which is usually every Thursday on YouTube. And I'm live in my Facebook group Sunday afternoons. Please feel free to join me over there. And I'm supposed to tell you to do something else. Oh, comment. I really just need to like put a little sticky note here going, Amy, say these 4 things. Elizabeth gets mad at me. She's like, Mom, you gotta remember how to say it right. Anyways, hope you guys all have a lovely day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.